The history of cinema is often told through the lens of those whose faces illuminated the silver screen, the household names whose presence alone could fill theater seats and command the attention of millions. Yet, behind some of the most enduring magical creations in cultural history lie the unsung pioneers whose physical movements, expressions, and boundless imagination breathed tangible life into static drawings. There is a specific kind of artistic alchemy that occurred during the golden age of traditional hand-drawn animation, a period when every single frame was a testament to human labor, precision, and soul. To understand the depth of this craft, one must step back into an era before computer-generated imagery, before digital rendering, and before motion capture technology became a staple of Hollywood production. In those days, creating a character that could capture the hearts of generations required a seamless fusion of illustrative genius and human performance. It required a living, breathing muse who could translate abstract emotions and whimsical movements into a physical reality that artists could painstakingly recreate frame by frame on celluloid. This is the story of an extraordinary journey that spanned nearly a century, a narrative woven into the very fabric of popular culture, beginning in the earliest days of Hollywood and stretching into the hearts of modern audiences worldwide. It is a tale that invites us to look closely at the invisible threads connecting real-life performance with timeless fantasy, urging us to appreciate the dedication of artists who spent their entire lives making the impossible seem completely effortless. If you appreciate these deep dives into the hidden histories of classic entertainment and wish to stay connected with more stories about the legends who shaped our collective imagination, please take a brief moment to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upcoming episode. Our journey today takes us deep into the heart of mid-century Los Angeles, into a bustling studio lot where the air was thick with creativity and the pressure to deliver something unprecedented was mounting. The year was 1953, and a major studio was preparing to release an animated feature film that would define the concept of youth, wonder, and eternal childhood for decades to come. The project was immense, demanding a level of fluid motion and personality that traditional animation had rarely attempted before. Among the roster of mythical characters being developed for this grand adventure, there was one particular figure who presented a unique challenge to the creative team. This character was tiny, nonverbal, and completely reliant on physical comedy, expressive gestures, and an overwhelming sense of attitude to communicate with the audience. The animators knew that without a strong, vibrant physical reference, this character risked becoming flat or uninspiring on screen. They needed someone who could embody a fierce independence, a touch of jealousy, and an abundance of charm all at once, using nothing but the cadence of their body language to tell a story. The search for this perfect individual led to a young, exceptionally talented woman who had already spent years navigating the competitive landscape of the entertainment industry. Born in Illinois but raised under the bright, transformative lights of California, she possessed a natural grace and an intuitive understanding of performance that set her apart from her peers. From a very young age, her life had been intertwined with the performing arts, starting with minor roles in legendary short films and classical adaptations during the 1930s. She had grown up alongside the evolving medium of cinema, transitioning from the black and white innocence of early comedy shorts to the sophisticated productions of the post-war era. When she walked into the audition room for this mysterious animated project, she brought with her a wealth of experience, a sharp wit, and a unique ability to pantomime complex emotions without uttering a single word. The directors and animators watched in fascination as she navigated the empty space of the soundstage, reacting to imaginary props and conjuring a sense of wonder out of thin air. They realized almost instantly that they had found their living blueprint, the physical anchor for a character destined to become a global icon of magic and belief. Over the course of many grueling months, this dedicated performer spent her days under the intense heat of studio lights, dressed in simple outfits that allowed the animators to clearly see the lines of her body and the nuances of her movements. A camera operator would film her every action using traditional 35mm film, capturing the way she tossed her hair, the way she stamped her foot in mock anger, and the way she leaped across the stage to simulate flight. This footage was not meant for public viewing. Instead, it was developed and sent directly to the desks of master animators, who studied her frame by frame, translating her humanity into the ink and paint of a legendary fairy. This intricate process of using live-action reference was the backbone of the studio's golden era, ensuring that even the most fantastical creatures possessed a grounding weight and an authentic emotional resonance. The young woman was encouraged by the creative team to simply be herself, to let her natural exuberance and playful personality dictate the rhythm of the scenes. As she interacted with oversized props, including a massive mock-up of a keyhole and a giant scissors, she inadvertently established the definitive traits of a character that millions of children would grow up idolizing. It was a rigorous, demanding process that required immense stamina and a deep trust in the vision of the filmmakers, yet she approached it with an unwavering enthusiasm that endeared her to everyone on the lot. At the time, no one could have truly predicted just how monumental this film would become, or how this specific character would transcend the boundaries of the movie screen to become a permanent symbol of hope, imagination, and the enduring power of faith and trust. Decades later, looking back on that pivotal moment in her youth, she would often remark on how incredibly fortunate she felt to have been chosen for a role that brought unadulterated joy to the world, contrasting it with the darker, more violent cinematic roles that many of her contemporaries pursued. For her, the legacy of her work was measured by the smiles of generations of fans, a living testament to a time when cinematic magic was crafted entirely by hand, one beautiful drawing at a time. This foundational chapter of her life set the stage for a sprawling, multifaceted career that would touch almost every corner of American entertainment, establishing her as a versatile force in both live-action television and the emerging field of voice acting. Yet, the story of this remarkable artist encompasses far more than just one famous role. It is a tapestry of resilience, love, and a lifelong dedication to the arts that continue to inspire people well into the 21st century. As we prepare to delve deeper into the rich details of her extensive career, her memorable collaborations with television royalty, and the profound personal journeys that shaped her long life, we must first appreciate the quiet brilliance of that initial spark of inspiration in the early 1950s. The world she helped create was one where growing up was optional, and where a little bit of pixie dust could conquer any obstacle, a philosophy she carried with her through every triumph and tribulation over the course of her 97 years on this earth. The successful transition from a youthful studio muse to a versatile, lifelong industry professional is a journey that very few performers manage to navigate with grace. Yet the woman who brought the world's most famous fairy to life did so with an effortless charm that defined her entire existence. To truly understand the magnitude of her contribution to entertainment, one must look past the glittering dust of Neverland and examine the incredible breadth of her work across the golden age of American television and radio. Born under the name Peggy Lynch, she entered the entertainment industry at a time when the studio system dominated Los Angeles, and child actors were expected to possess an extraordinary level of discipline and versatility. Her early days in the industry were marked by appearances in the legendary series of short films known as Our Gang, or The Little Rascals, which captured the hearts of Great Depression-era audiences with their innocent, situational humor and relatable childhood antics. Working on these shorts provided her with an invaluable education in comedic timing and physical performance, lessons that would serve as the bedrock for her future artistic endeavors. By the late 1940s, her talent had caught the attention of major industry executives, leading to a co-starring role alongside the legendary entertainer Eddie Cantor in the 1948 musical comedy film titled If You Knew Susie, where she wonderfully portrayed his character's only daughter. This high-profile role showcased not only her acting abilities, but also her musicality and stage presence, firmly establishing her as a rising talent to watch in a rapidly changing Hollywood landscape. As the entertainment industry began to shift its focus toward the exciting new medium of television, she adapted seamlessly, finding a wealth of opportunities in guest-starring roles and recurring appearances on some of the most beloved programs of the era. Among these was her memorable work on 2 episodes of the iconic series The Andy Griffith Show, a staple of American television that celebrated the simple, heartwarming dynamics of small-town life. Her ability to blend into the wholesome, rustic atmosphere of Mayberry while still maintaining her distinct personal charm demonstrated her remarkable range as an actress, proving that she was just as comfortable in a live-action sitcom as she was on an animation soundstage. Beyond her physical appearances on screen, she possessed a rich, expressive voice that made her a highly sought-after talent in the burgeoning field of animated television voiceovers. During the late 1950s and early 1960s, she lent her vocal talents to several groundbreaking syndicated cartoon series that utilized innovative animation techniques to capture the imagination of young viewers. One of her most notable voice projects was the adventure series Clutch Cargo, which gained fame for its unique and somewhat eerie use of synchrovox technology, a process where real human lips were superimposed over animated character drawings. In this series, as well as in other classic animated productions like Space Angel and The New Three Stooges, her vocal flexibility allowed her to portray a wide array of characters, from adventurous young heroes to sophisticated heroines. This extensive body of voice work often went uncredited or overlooked by the general public, who still primarily associated her with her live-action physical modeling. Yet it represented a significant contribution to the evolution of television animation. While her professional life was a whirlwind of studios, recording booths, and script readings, her personal life was equally rich and complex, filled with deep romances, profound losses, and a continuous dedication to her growing family. In 1951, just as her historic work with the Walt Disney Studio was reaching its creative peak, she married a man named Dick Brown, embarking on a partnership that would span over 3 decades and bring 3 children into the world. Her children, named Ellen, Christina, and Eric, grew up with a mother who was not only deeply devoted to their upbringing, but also carried a piece of cinematic history with her wherever she went. Balancing the demanding schedule of a Hollywood career with the immense responsibilities of motherhood was no small feat, yet she managed to create a stable, loving home environment that shielded her family from the more toxic elements of show business. Her marriage to Dick Brown lasted until 1984, marking a major chapter of stability and shared history that concluded as she transitioned into the later stages of her life and career. Not one to be deterred by the passage of time or the changing tides of fortune, she found love once again in 1987 when she married John Wilcox, a union that brought a renewed sense of companionship and joy to her life. This second marriage lasted until his passing in 1999, a loss that brought immense grief but also highlighted her incredible resilience and capacity to find meaning in the wake of tragedy. Throughout these decades of personal change, she never lost her deep, enduring connection to the global community of animation fans who revered her early work. She became a beloved fixture at classic Hollywood conventions, Disney enthusiast gatherings, and historical retrospectives, where she would spend hours sharing first-hand accounts of what it was like to work alongside master animators during the peak of hand-drawn cinema. Her stories were a vital bridge to a bygone era of filmmaking, offering historians and casual fans alike a rare glimpse into the practical artistry, the laughter, and the technical challenges of 1950s studio production. She took immense pride in the fact that the work she performed as a young woman continued to bring joy to new generations of children who were discovering the magic of Peter Pan for the very first time. Her interactions with the public were always marked by a genuine warmth and generosity of spirit, as she took the time to listen to fans express how much her character had influenced their childhoods and shaped their imaginations. As the 20th century gave way to the 21st, she remained a vibrant, active participant in preserving the legacy of classic Hollywood, frequently participating in interviews and writing about her extensive experiences in the entertainment industry. The contrast between her early days as a silent physical model and her later years as an eloquent storyteller and keeper of Hollywood history perfectly illustrated the full circle of her remarkable life journey. She understood better than anyone that the longevity of a character like Tinker Bell was not just the result of luck, but the product of a collaborative artistic spirit that valued human emotion and tangible, handcrafted detail above all else. This deep appreciation for the craft and the community kept her spirit youthful, ensuring that even as the decades rolled by, she never lost that spark of magic that had captivated casting directors nearly 70 years prior. Her life stood as a beautiful testament to the idea that an artist's impact is not confined to the era in which they work, but echoes forward through time, continuously inspiring those who look to the past for inspiration and wonder. The final chapters of a long and exceptionally well-lived life often possess a unique poetic beauty, reflecting a lifetime of accumulated wisdom, enduring love, and an unwavering commitment to one's passions. For the extraordinary woman who once leaped across empty sound stages to simulate the flight of a mythical fairy, the final decades of her journey were a masterful display of resilience and a refusal to let the spark of youth fade away. In the late stages of her life, when many would have chosen a quiet retirement away from the public eye, she continued to embrace the world with an open heart and a sharp, inquisitive mind. Her personal life took a deeply romantic and heartwarming turn in the year 2020, a time when she proved to the world that love and new beginnings have absolutely no expiration date. At the remarkable age of 91, she reunited with and married Robert Boak, a former boyfriend from her past who was 94 years old at the time of their wedding. This late-in-life romance captured the imagination of everyone who knew her, serving as a beautiful, real-world manifestation of the very optimism and magic she had spent her career helping to project onto the silver screen. Together, they shared a profound companionship that celebrated the twilight of their respective journeys, finding comfort and joy in one's presence until his passing on May 24th. This loss was a heavy burden to bear, yet she faced it with the same quiet dignity and inner strength that had guided her through the losses of her previous husbands, Dick Brown and John Wilcox. Her ability to navigate the profound sorrows of life while still retaining a deep sense of gratitude for the time she had been given was a true reflection of her character, inspiring everyone in her immediate circle of family and friends. Throughout these final years, her connection to the Walt Disney Archives and the global community of animation enthusiasts remained completely unbreakable, a source of constant mutual respect and profound admiration. She was not merely a historical footnote in the archives of classic cinema. She was a living treasure, a direct link to the pioneering artists who built an empire of imagination out of pure dedication, paper, and ink. When the news of her peaceful passing on a recent Thursday at the age of 97 was officially shared with the world, it sparked a wave of heartfelt tributes that echoed across the global entertainment community. The Walt Disney Archives released a deeply moving statement on their social media platforms, beautifully summarizing the essence of what she brought to the world through her memorable performances and her enduring connection to fans. They noted that through her dedication over many decades, she had helped truly illuminate the magic of timeless characters, inspiring countless generations of people who continue to believe in the power of faith, trust, and just a little bit of pixie dust. This official tribute underscored the profound reality that while the human body may eventually grow old and pass away, the art created by a dedicated soul can achieve a form of genuine immortality. Her legacy is unique because it exists simultaneously in the physical historical records of Hollywood and in the collective childhood memories of millions of individuals worldwide. When modern audiences look at the vibrant, sassy, and fiercely loyal fairy on their screens, they are not just looking at a beautiful drawing, they are watching the preserved movements, expressions, and soul of a young woman from Illinois who gave her all to a craft she loved. She frequently spoke about the profound contrast between the joyful, wholesome nature of her career and the much darker paths chosen by other actors of her generation, expressing a deep sense of gratitude for the innocent joy her work left behind. She noted with great pride that everything she had done in her career was something people could still actively enjoy today, a rare and amazing achievement in an industry that so often forgets its past. Her 3 children, Ellen, Christina, and Eric, along with her extended family, carry forward the memory of a woman who was a loving mother first and a cinematic icon second, balancing the extraordinary nature of her fame with a grounded, warm household. The story of her life, from her earliest days as a child actress in the 1930s short films to her historic collaboration with mid-century animators, is a masterclass in artistic dedication and personal resilience. She witnessed the evolution of cinema from its infancy into the digital age, yet she always remained a passionate advocate for the human element in storytelling, reminding us that technology can never truly replace the warmth of a real human performance. As we say a final, bittersweet farewell to this legendary muse, we are reminded that the magic she helped create does not disappear with her passing, but remains firmly anchored in our hearts and minds. Her journey teaches us that a life lived with passion, generosity, and a touch of whimsy can leave an indelible mark on the world, a mark that time cannot erase or diminish. The spirit of the girl who helped teach the world how to fly through imagination will continue to live on every single time a child or an adult watches a silhouette cross a moonlit sky, or catches themselves believing, even if just for a fleeting moment, in the impossible. Her 97 years on this earth were a beautiful, complete symphony of creativity and love, a cinematic masterpiece in their own right that will continue to inspire and illuminate the world for generations to come.